Hello everyone, this is Stacy Cohen with the Center for Soulful Presence. I'm a licensed professional counselor here in the state of Georgia, and today I wanted to talk about the power of acceptance and how it relates to healing. I think that so often in our culture today we have taught each other that talking negative does bad things. And we've taken it to heart to such a degree that we start bypassing what a person's truth is in any given moment. And I think a lot of times if you're sharing with someone, a well-meaning friend, family, right? A kind, compassionate ear. That other person doesn't want you to be in pain, doesn't want you to see things in a negative light. There's only one thing that starts to create something that's a little bit more problematic. And that is that we start to bypass the feelings. Let's not numb out people. Let's feel our feelings. Let's acknowledge the jealousy, the pain, the anger, right? And these have become societally based things that are almost deemed as immoral, right? We've demonized anger. Anger is a natural emotion to someone not getting their needs met. Now, what we do with anger, that's a whole nother story. But we're just talking about acknowledgement. To acknowledge the fact that you have a particular feeling. And the listening person, if they can just sit and be present with that person's pain. And being present doesn't mean trying to fix it, trying to come up with a solution for the other person. Because ultimately, if someone can be witnessed properly within their pain, most of the time, that person can come to a realization and gain enough wisdom that will help that person to move through what's going on. So let's not bypass what's going on. Let's acknowledge what is. So if you have an awareness that you're having a very uncomfortable feeling and an uncomfortable thought, say it. I feel like I don't want to go to the party that I am expected to go to. My friends are all waiting to see me. They've all texted me, and I gotta go. But I don't want to go. I'm having all these kinds of feelings. Now, if a person can just speak to that, hey, I don't want to go. Giving yourself permission to be where you are is half the battle, because a lot of times what we resist is our judgment of what is coming up for us, not the thing itself. I feel like I need to come up with an answer this week about XYZ. Well, maybe if you were to give yourself permission to not know, that it's the resistance of the resistance. All right, I acknowledge that I don't really know the answer. But the tension, the anxiety, the depression, that is all coming from the fact that you're pushing yourself too hard. You are pushing yourself to be somewhere where you're not. And that's the key. So if we let go of the idea that we have to know, or we have to have a decision, or that we have to want to go somewhere where we don't want to go, you can't force yourself to be somewhere other than where you are. It's kind of like you have a 1.5-year-old and they can't walk yet. And then you get mad at them because they're not walking. So that's redunculous. That's a real clinical term, redunculous. So why would you wouldn't try to force that on a kid, right? Or like a 6th grader with master's level work, schoolwork. It's gonna be like, gonna see deer in headlights. Nothing. They are where they are. So if we can have more realistic expectations of ourselves, if we can just accept that maybe in the moment you had an ugly thought or an ugly feeling. Ooh. I think the other part of this is just that people over-identify with their thoughts and feelings. We are not our thoughts and feelings. They're separate. It's kind of like Eckhart Tolle talks about the pain body. It's like, it's not of us. But when we over-identify with these thoughts and feelings, then we believe that we become it. And even no matter how much you believe that you are your thoughts and feelings, you're still not your thoughts and feelings. They're experiences. Are we our experiences? Or are we experiencing something? So, if we can get to a place of acceptance, and usually the most simple entryway into that place, accepting, and by the way, accepting does not mean like. I don't have to like what's going on. You're accepting it. It is what it is. That state. And it doesn't mean you're not going to take action. Maybe you're in a lousy relationship. Maybe you don't want to be in that lousy. I don't want to be in this lousy relationship. But we have all this stuff tied into the house, and like, and you know, all these people think that we're like this good couple, or whatever the case may be. You say, I'm accepting that I don't really want to be in this relationship. And that's okay. It's okay. Yeah, but it's going to mean that it's going to disrupt my life. And then the person has all these thoughts and about what's going to happen or what could happen or what their fears are of it. But you can't even get into solution in that state of mind, of disbelief. And acceptance is the portal. So whatever it is that you don't like that's going on in your life right now, can you get to a state of saying your truth about how you really feel about it? I really don't like this. This sucks so bad. This is the worst. My life feels like it's crumbling. But there's a lot of people who we've kind of learned this like pop psychology, like, but I don't want to call it into existence. I believe that in the law of attraction. Well, the thing is that if you can't be real about where you're at, how would you actually, in a realistic, hands-on way, actually get to your goals if you're not getting honest and truthful about where you are? So what I'm suggesting is to not bypass, whether it's through spiritual bypassing or some kind of like, you know, pop psychology, just say an affirmation. There's nothing wrong with affirmations. The only thing is, if you don't accept that you maybe, oh, I feel bad about myself, I have low self-esteem, oh, I feel so horrible, I feel so inadequate or ugly or whatever the case may be. You can't speak to that. The affirmation isn't going to work. Because you wind up always resisting what is. You can't change something you're not accepting. So acceptance is the portal into change. Acceptance is the portal into action. And action creates change. But if you're not even aware of what it is that you need to accept, yeah, then usually it requires some kind of experience for you to get rattled enough or something not going right. And a lot of times people are like, oh, my life is horrible. Therefore I'm horrible. I'm horrible because my life isn't working the way I want to. You have to become aware of what it is that is not working in your own life. And then can you accept that it's not working? But I've tried all these things and I keep on trying and it's still not doing anything. And if you're still in that loop, you're not accepting. So it requires a level of honesty. And a lot of times people say, yeah, if I face the truth, then, I'm afraid of what's going to happen. Usually, things really happen even more when a person does not, the longer you stay in lack of acceptance. So, because the consequences of such typically lead to symptoms and anxiety and depression and other outside consequences. So my invitation is to consider really speaking to what it is that's bugging you and just say it. This is it. This is how I'm feeling. So, with that being said, I hope that what I shared, you were able to extract some nugget, something that can assist you in your life's journey. And I am so grateful that all of you have taken the time to watch this video. Thank you.